has there ever been that one movie you look at and say to yourself, it deserves so much better? Now, it can mean many things. It could be the reception from critics or audiences, or how much or little it made out at the box office. There's all a combination of both. There's always some films you look at and feel like they deserve so much better than the reception they got. One thing I've been surprised to find is that the MCU has kind of fallen into that trap. Whether be ethically with some films like Thor: Love and Thunder and Captain America Brave New World. At the box office with Thunderbolts / The New Avengers, just all both. Which it leads us to the topic. I'll pick up this review, The Marvels, which at the time I'm recording this is the lowest grossing MCU film. And what's worse, the critics didn't seem too fond of it. I don't think I've seen anyone that outright hates the film, but I haven't seen anyone that outright loves it either. But it's one of those, it exists. It is Marvel films. Meanwhile, I look at the film and say, what's with the reception? This one's great. Yeah, I did a review of this back in 2023, but I really like the Marvels. And it's something I did want to explain more to try help get people more invested with them. Now, I do admit that this isn't perfect, and it's definitely not the best film to come from the MCU. I am aware of that. But honestly, I've always considered the Marvels to be the MCU's comfort movie. Like, the kind of film where you put some comfy clothes on, it's in a comfy position, and then you just watch a fun, enjoyable superhero flick. I think where the film started, shot on the most, also is the relationship between Enid Sleep, Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan. All three of them have fantastic chemistry. And that moments together for what made this film. On their own, the personalities are quite similar. I was trying to make up for or a mistake that made Ada to be known as the Annihilator. So Monica's having a hard time to forgive Carol for being absent for so long, and Kamala is the Captain Marvel and don't try to impress Carol. But the way the three bounce off each other is fantastic. Whether it be with some of the more comedic scenes, or the more intense and dramatic scenes. And a lot of how Kamala gets this either there are some downside as the Carol realizes that just because that your hero doesn't mean that perfect and just human like everyone else. Like how she struggled to understand and why they couldn't save April the Scroll all in one moment. But or how she talked back to Carol after she made the choice to leave Alana to defend themselves, also they could protect each other. And mainly so Kamala could protect at that and angle. Also, the film has some really good humour. In fact, I say this is one of the more funnier MCU films. Not all the jokes land, I admit it, but there were some really hilarious ones, especially towards the fact that I don't know the word, but I just find it so hilarious seeing in an entire alien invasive kit. It's called the Flag. I can eat an entire aerospace ace crew with the song "Memory" from Cat at in the background. That makes me laugh every time. So and I also like when Nick was evacuating with Kamala's family. We had others started praying, and it was something with, "Are you praying? Don't stop. We need some help we can get. Amen." Yeah, there are some funny there are some really great jokes in this film. Also, so this has some of my favourite looking locations in the Marvel film. I'd say for the most part the visuals are a bit of a hit and miss. Some of the effects do look a bit off, but where the film really shows its budget, it is with each of the locations of the planet, and it's that the film goes to. Show this place, and it at the Skrull have called their home to, and home with Tana. Not to the beautiful wonders of Atlanta, which is probably my favourite part of the film. Not only does the place look great, but I see myself really thinking, seriously, I love the idea of a planet where everyone communicates just by singing. It's honestly genius writing. I think that didn't get me invested. I'll even say that Atlanta is home to one of the best action scenes in the film. I'm showing the Marvels and the soldiers of Atlanta, going up against our Ben and her forces. So from the sounds of it, this sounds like it could make an amazing Marvel film. And there are so many elements that are definitely great in this. So why is it not considered to be one of the best? Well, I think it's due to the film's running time. This film is easily the shortest film in the MCU. At a runtime, I'm of an hour and 45 minutes. Well, now I'm not saying it's impossible to make a Marvel film shorter than 2 hours. Some of the old Marvel films that aren't part of the MCU were able to do that really well. However, I feel like the Marvel struggles goes in that regard because there is so much that could be explored. This is especially the case with the film's main villain, Dar-Benn. And conceptually, she's quite an interesting villain. Villain has a burning hatred towards Captain Marvel after she accidentally ruined her plan and her father, and then gives Carol the name the Annihilator and her need to control both Bangles well, at least a villain motive. It does give her the potential to be a solid threat. The only problem is that the film's short runtime stops her from being as effective as she can be. Yes, there are moments where she's not as big as a villain as she should. But it could have gone into the more emotional aspects of how she has to try to sacrifice herself to save her planet. and it all go into further details of why Icy calls Carol the Annihilator, but the film only gives us a glimpse of that and not the full picture. Also, so while most of the action scenes are really good in this film, there are times where some of the effects do look off. This is especially the case with the flying effect. When Carol's flying around, and they definitely look like they were green screened. But that's not to say all the effects were bad. There were some really good ones. I especially like how they did the effects of X when the goal switch its place. Says they do a good job of explaining how the switching is possible when all of them use their powers. They switch it into different place. Says, and the film does get really creative with the switch. Etching that does make the action scenes exciting and unpredictable, leaving the viewer invested to know where each hero's gonna end. And up in the battle. So that's why I really like the battle at Atlanta. Well, it made the most of the girl switching place. Ace says at a blink of a second when they use the power. But as I also really like how it sets things up for the MCU. I'm sure not all of these will be answered straight away in future projects. I really like the idea of Monica getting stuck in another universe. That's where she ends up teaming up with the X-Men in that universe. And Kamala forming her own team with the Young Avengers. Those are honestly some really good ideas. Yes, that the film presented near the end, and I am quite invested to see what the film will do with them. So no, The Marvels isn't a perfect film. It's short running time. It's pretty. As it leaves a lot of unanswered questions. It leaves the villain to be flat. Some of the characters like Nick Fury and Kamala's family have little to do other than hanging out on out on the main space ship, and some of the effects in this film can be hit and miss. But overall, I still think The Marvels is a really good film. The main story is pretty good, for the most part. The action is still great. Some of the locations in this film are incredible. Well, the film does great with the switch, etching effects. The bond between the main angry characters is fantastic. They can really like the way it sets things up for the future of the MCU. I guess this isn't a rush to watch, but I do think it's worth watching at least once to say that you have seen it. How you'll feel afterwards would depend. And on you. I'm honestly sad that this isn't ended up as Marvel's biggest flop. I guess I do kind of understand and why I did. If so many Marvel projects that are connected, as this one and most of them being on Disney Plus, which I know not everyone has most of them being TV series, it does stop Optimus from getting as big of an audience as it possibly could. But still, that didn't change the fact that I found this to be a great film. I think when I did my review of this, I gave it an 8. Either an 8 out of 10 or an 8.5. I can't remember what one I probably gave, but I'm just going to give the film an 8 out of 10. And now, I will just say that's a good enough score for this movie. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.